Hello traders, and welcome back to another weekly market review. In today's video, we're going to go over the current Forex trades, the current equity trades, anything that's going on with the commodities, primarily just oil. And then we're also going to go through some crypto today. So make sure to stick through at the end. We're going to explain what was going on with GBP last week, how to deal with those positions. And then we're going to go over some of the newer positions we can now set up. And also new trades we can set up on the equities and on crypto. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first trade we have is NZDCAD, and this already hit TP1 almost. It's still right now it's above or short entry. So if you're new, before you enter this trade, we want to make sure price is actually going below or entry. So we want to make sure price goes below, and then from here we can short it once it's below the entry. But again, just a reminder for everyone, we don't enter with any stop orders or buy stops, sell stops. We only enter with sell limits and buy limits. The next trade we have here is EURCAD. Again, very similar scenario. At the time of the recording of this video, the price is below or short entry. So this is a trade you can set up if this is your first time or second time. You want to be a little more careful, just because this trade already hit TP1 multiple times. So this is a repeated trade. EURCAD is repeated. So depending on where you're at right now with BFT, if you're just new, there's probably some better trades you can set up. If you already took this once or twice, you can set this trade up again. On AUDCAD, we already hit TP1, so we're just going into the short entry box again. So this is another trade you can set up again if you'd like. Looks like we're forming really good resistance over here. We can see kind of a triple top here. So this was a first touch on the resistance, and then this was a second. We might get a third. So as long as this a third touch holds, this resistance will stay. Of course, if price breaks above it, probably going to see a larger push to the upside. But do keep in mind that this stop loss here is placed above a really strong resistance. So even if it does go a little further, we can still expect our TPs to be hit. Moving on to oil. Oil is actually looking good. I actually like this setup. The only thing I'm waiting for on this trade is for these S's to disappear. So I want the support to leave, and then I want to see neutral coming in. So right now we are on a strong resistance level. We had a fake breakout kind of above that level, but now we went back below that level. So right now it's consolidating below that resistance. So we want price to stay below that resistance, and preferably want these S's to leave. Given the current kind of oil situation, it is pretty bearish. We are in a pretty decent downtrend, and for me personally, it's hard to believe that price will go up further. We might see price rise again to like the 49.8, but again, on the short term, I think we're gonna have another dip down into the $25 area. Move on to GBPJPY. Again, now this is pretty much the elephant in the room. All the GBP pairs, they had a big fall last week. If you were following the strategy and you were executing the trades correctly, you shouldn't have gone through a big loss. You probably hit stop loss maybe one trade, or maybe you're in a drawdown on a trade. But we do have a couple of GBP trades that are being set up right now, or that we had long positions on. And just because the algo is giving you like 4 different trades on GBP pairs, doesn't mean we should all set them up, right? So make sure to never get overexposed. Make sure you have one currency running at a time. We don't want to have multiple trades running that are on the same currency, because if something happens to the currency, then it's not going to be good. So make sure you're always having one trade open per currency. That's probably going to be the best. That way you can ensure you're not overexposed, and you're not going to be losing as much when something happens to a specific currency. So pretty much the majority of the GBP pairs and the GBP trades, they went from a uptrend to downtrend. So in that case, when that happens, when we have a trend change, we want to move our TPs to break even. So when price comes back to retest this broken level, we can expect to get out of our long positions and get into shorts. So GBPJPY is a new trade. So we were buying this before, but now we've actually switched to a short entry. So this is a trade you can set up. It's fresh. It hasn't been triggered yet. This is a good trade to set up. GBP NZD, I believe, hit stop loss for some people. So this is a no trade zone now. This is a trade we lost. We did hit a lot of TPs in the last week. So again, if you didn't overexpose, this is not a big issue for you. This is just part of the probability game. You're gonna have some winners, you're gonna have some losers. But overall, if we stick to the plan, if we stick to the strategy, we're gonna have more winners because we're seeing a 75% win rate across our users. And with a 75% win rate doesn't mean you're gonna hit, out of 10 trades, if you take 10 trades within the next month, 7 of them are gonna be winners, three of them are gonna be losers. The probability game, it's something we gotta do over time. It doesn't mean that in a week you're gonna have 70%. It doesn't mean in 4 weeks you're gonna have 70%. It means overall, if you keep executing the same trades over a longer period of time, you're gonna be sitting at that 70%. So the people who've been with us, for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, those are the people that are seeing a 75% win rate. Usually after a month or two, that's the average you're gonna get with BFT. GBPAD, again, same thing as with the other pairs. Move your TPs to break even. This is what you should do pretty much with all the GBP pairs that you have open. So if you have any trades open for GBP, you can move those to break even. And GBPCAD, same thing as GBPJPY. Move your TPs to break even on your long position, and you can enter a short position. Make sure, again, you don't overexpose. You don't want to be entering GBPCAD and GBPJPY at the same time. Pick one and only trade that one pair. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to equity. So the first one on the list, we have PFE. I believe we've already set this one up last week, so there's really nothing much to do here yet. We just have to wait for price to come down into a short entry. This trade already played out once, so if you were able to set this up when it first came out, you most likely hit already TP1 and TP2. So now we're just waiting for the price to go up again into a short entry. From there we can take shorts again. JPM, same thing, where you hit TP1, TP2 on this. We are back in a long entry box. It has been consolidating for a while, but the probability of TP1 is still there. You can still hit TP1 on this. So again, this is a repeated trade. If you're comfortable setting it up, you can set that up. If not, there's a bunch of more opportunities we can set up here as well. This is ACB. ACB, we're talking about that last week. This is a fresh trade you guys can set up. So put your sell limits in this box here, and hopefully we can get some of this gap filled. I'm probably not going to go to zero, but if we can get this gap filled a little bit, I think that'll be really cool. Moving on to BIDU. This is another short entry. It's a very fresh trade. This has not played out yet. Overall, BIDU is the downtrend. So we were down in this downtrend. We've created this lower high here, and now we went up and we created another lower high. So price is in a very good downtrend. We had this high, this lower high, and now we created this next lower high, and we can see price forming another top here. So we can expect price to come up into our level here, and from there go to TP1 and then go into a TP3. So this is a trade you can set up. It's fresh, it's new. I'm excited for this trade. Now this next one, I think you guys will like even more. This is Netflix. Netflix has been talked about last week for quite a bit. We had a trending hashtag on cancel Netflix, etc. So we can probably expect this stock to fall a little more. It is in a downtrend overall right now. So we did break this level, which indicates we can take a short on this. So we can see the short entry box came up. So you can put your sell limits on the short entry. Just use the values from the BFT panel, and from there we can wait for TP1, TP2, and potentially TP3. Most likely when we hit this TP, we can expect the algorithm to recalculate and move this TP3 a little higher. But yeah, given the current news and everything like that, we can expect, I think, the stock to fall a little more. Right now it's really at a neutral level, so it's not overvalued, it's not undervalued. I think right now more of the fundamentals have to play with the price. So depending what kind of news comes out next week, but according to the chart, according to the price, we can expect Netflix to fall a little further. Moving on to CUK. This is another fresh long entry we can take on CUK. Put your long entry here. Again, just take the values from the BFT panel, and then you should be good to go. This is a trade setup from CCL. Looks good. Looks like we already hit TP1 once, so this would be a repeat trade, but I'm pretty sure we can hit that TP point one more time. So this is a trade you can set up. And I already filtered out the bad trades, so I'm only showing you guys the trades I'm interested in, the trades that I think are good. There's a lot of ones that are very repeated, Their range are consolidating, so they're not going to be the best trades to take. So these are the ones that we can set up for this week. Next up, we have crypto. So the first one in our crypto watch list is BNB. I actually really like this trade. Looks really clean. So we broke this resistance over here. It's a very clean breakout, and we're just waiting for the retest. So put your long entries in this. This specific chart is on Binance. Again, you're going to see different trading recommendations and different exchanges, but this one is on Binance. So if you're looking at this trade on your navigator, make sure to select the same exchange. Next up, we have EOS. EOS is also a repeated trade, but given the kind of some of the fundamentals on this specific token, I believe we can expect some more shorts, especially more down at the support. So this TP might recalculate. Again, I'm not sure. It kind of depends on the algo, but we could see price fall further. But again, don't enter here. We want to put our sell limits into the short entry box and then just wait to get triggered. If we hit TP1, TP2, then we move our stop loss to break even for the third position. Next up, we have NEO. Another really clean trade. So we're just waiting for price to come back into a long entry box, and from there we can take price up into our TP1, TP2 over here. And that's the market review for this week. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments below. Make sure to join our community chat where we can talk about these trades and further. You guys can ask further questions for our team. And if you guys need help, make sure to give us a shout. We're always happy to help. Make sure you don't overexpose. Make sure to read the handbook so you know exactly what the rules are and how to trade or strategy. It's very easy to move away from the rules, and if you do that, that's where you start losing. So make sure you don't overexpose. Make sure you're following all the rules like you should, and only then you can expect to get a consistent return using strategy mode. If you try to build your own things in, that's you're gonna either see better results or worse results depending on how good or bad trader you are. So if you want to remove your emotions and really just trade according to the rules, make sure to download the handbook. You can access that in the week 2 library, or just type it into the global chat, and then Grace will send you the link. My name is Patrick. I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.